everyone. I wish I was there with you in person. The question I asked myself back in 1998 was, what do futurists do? I was living in France and finishing my master's in public administration and economics when I had this eye-opening course on foresight. At the same time, my father started working for the UNDP on a project called Africa 2020. I then found myself registering for a master's in studies of the future, one of the very few offered in the world at the University of Houston, Texas. The field is now commonly known as foresight, or prospectiva en español. Now, what did I learn and why is it still current for our job as Development Financing Bank? First, let me talk about what futurists do not do. And yes, there is a to-don't list even for futurists. Futurists do not predict the future. They do not have a crystal ball, or they do not know how to read palms or cards. This is very important because the field is very much scientific based. The other thing that futurists do not do is believe that there is only one future. This is because we are free will beings, and the world around us, all of its parts, its ecosystems and the interaction among all these parts make it impossible to know what will be the next future. So futurists believe that there are alternative futures, not just one future. Now let me talk about what futurists do. I will talk about examples of a wide spectrum of tools that are either conceptual but also more practical. The first one is visioning. Imagine yourself relaxing, breathing deeply, and focusing on a journey. Pretty much what you would do in meditation. Now, visioning combined with shared values and principles can help you visualize a preferred future. Now let's talk about environmental scanning, also known as pestle analysis. Environmental scanning, you look at news for a specific development challenge, for example. You look at the latest, and you look not only at the exact challenge, but also you look at all of the environment surrounding it. So you look at political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal aspects of that challenge. This is forcing us to look at it in a holistic way or as a multi-sectoral approach for us to know how to address the needs of our clients. Now that you know where you're heading to and you know the environment surrounding a development challenge, you can now develop scenarios or conduct strategic planning. In terms of developing scenarios, futurists do not only look at probabilities or impacts or best case, worst case, or most likely scenarios. They also look at wildcards. What are the events that are very unexpected that no one would think would happen? But also how two seemingly unrelated issues can actually affect each other. A very good example of this is how urban planners can now contribute to reduce non-chronic diseases by planning more bikeways, walkways, stairs, or parks in a city. Another tool that can be used is the theory of social change. Futurists look at innovations that happened in the past and how they actually affected our societies. What they do is look at the criteria of these innovations to know how deep they impacted our societies and how sustainably they did impact societies, giving them a list of criteria for innovations now and in the future. Another tool that they have used and that makes the field pretty much scientific based is statistical forecasting. It's looking at, for example, tourism numbers for a tourism-based economy in the past, looking at all of the time series, the data, deseasonalizing the data, and conducting regression analysis to be able to forecast the number for the future, but also looking at trend analysis. But the tool that got me most excited about the field, and the one I still use in my current job, is the systems approach. This is looking at our environment and how everything is interconnected, and taking a multi-sectoral approach into solving problems. Now, the reason why I'm so excited about this field after so many years is because I already see us using these tools in our current job. Yes, at the IDB, we have plenty of initiatives that are using a multi-sectoral approach, innovation, systems approach, visualization of data, as well as diversity and inclusion for a wider impact. So you see, this is why I'm so excited. So what have you learned today? Here are the takeaways. We have learned that there are many futures, not just one, and as such you cannot predict the future. But it's best to have a preferred future using shared values and principles. You should not look at a development challenge in a silo, because there's a whole system around it, so that it is best to use a systems approach and a multi-sectoral approach. Now, the question I ask you now is, did you recognize a futurist in you? Thank you.